friends. Welcome back to Battletech Blades of Honor Season 1, Episode 12. We've successfully confirmed that, in fact, this is the 12th episode. We weren't going to have an episode tonight, so instead we started talking about guest stars, and then we did have an episode. So we're having an episode. Just wanted to let you know, we've already done a lot of pre-chatting before we got here.
Hey. You won't get that usual. We've had a lot of banter already. Let's be hardcore gaming right now.
No, there's no way that's going to happen.
Right.
I've seen this show before. It's the year 3046. A woman is dead. A woman who is noble and is related to several people who are a part of this group. You have 3 days, and it is the afternoon of the first day, to solve the death before the funeral, at which point you will go to the funeral and then be shipped with your battle mech off planet to go chase yet another problem as things begin to pile up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to cut directly to Shibaka, the city where the Inuyamagumi Yakuza are, or if the three of you want to have a planning session. Make a decision on, like, what are you bringing with you? Are you going to be, wearing street clothes? Are you going to be dressed like nobles? Are you going to be dressed like samurai? Are you going to be openly displaying these double swords that all of you are honored to wear? Are you bringing battle mechs with you to Shibaka?
I mean, what is the standard way of travel between cities on the planet? Is it like
Air
some
travel.
some sort of wiki?
No, unfortunately, the planet isn't flat enough to have a... You see, I was so confused. You said wiggy, and I was like, hold on. Wing and ground effect vehicle. All right, I'm there with you. Now, for those that don't know, I love wing and ground effect vehicles. They also require you to fly perfectly flat, and the object that you are flying over must also be perfectly flat, or you will crash nearly instantly and die. They're super, super efficient aircraft that abuse the laws of physics, with the one cheat exploit that if a wave is higher than something like 8 feet and you're flying over the water, the trough difference will cause you to crash and die instantly.
In their defense, the laws of physics started at first, so...
That's true. I mean, flying is itself an exploitation of gas as a liquid. Pressure, pushing down on me.
I believe that I was given some kind of folder of stuff to review.
It led you to a building in Shibaka that is where Chadwick Powers has an office for one of the front businesses for the Inuyamagumi Inuyama hospitality establishments.
Gotcha. Okay.
So can we assume we're having a quick conversation before we get going then?
Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So, Akari, I guess the question goes to you then. If we're going to go and do this, you probably know a little bit more about the sort of people we're dealing with, about how best to approach this. I feel like if we go in and start throwing our weight around, whoever we're looking for is going to go to ground. Do we want to go in with a different persona first? I mean, will you be instantly recognized?
Out of character, I would assume that we would be pretty instantly recognized by the people who matter, I guess, anyway, right?
I mean, if you show up in noble dress wearing 2 swords, all of you are recognizable personalities. If you're wearing sunglasses, ball caps, and t-shirts, that's a different story. Yeah. But also how you get there could matter, right? Like if you fly a private airplane, it's very different than flying coach.
Well,
or arriving by boat with a battle mech on board.
I assume there's like some sort of lordship, like who's the mayor of this city? They have their own social hierarchy, right?
That's correct.
Even though ours would be higher, right? Because we're like from the capital.
You are one of the suburbs of the capital within 50 miles. So Shibaka is known as the town of 4 loves. Each season, genetically engineered trees will blossom. So it's the willow. God, did I not write down the one with the M? I want to say mahogany, but that's not right. What's the one from the American South? Magnolia? Yes.
Do have those? Yeah.
Plum and cherry sakura trees. So each of them blossoms in a different season. And so it is constantly raining tree petals down. The town of Shibaka is a like forestry maintenance town that's also like Shibaka for lovers. That's their like tourist destination part. It's just like, oh, come see the beautiful trees no matter what the season is. But it's also like hardcore lumbering and fruit picking from the various trees. It has a lowest ranking lord who does not live in residence. So it would be someone who is ranked under the three of you. Like that's how low they are. It's not a big town. It's only got like less than 100,000 people that live there.
So I guess just like with my planetary knowledge,
Yeah.
what would be sort of the so I'm of two minds, right? This could be in character. I'm of two minds. We can go in quietly, find this man, and extract the information we need from him to establish the line of proof we need in order to take further action to lead us to the next ring. And then take what we have to the Lord of the City and require his aid in flushing out the rest of them. Or we can go to the Lord of the City first and risk his or her aid or impediment. What would I know would be like the normal way of dealing with a situation like this, right? Like you don't go into another man's home and take things out of his refrigerator without talking to him first. Does that hold true in this fiction or?
So it's more complicated because you're following an investigation of Yakuza, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is a question of, is the local lord in the pocket of the Yakuza, like a business relationship in some way that your investigation could disrupt that, and thus they would have every reason to not only outrightly deny you, but also slow you down or perhaps even have you killed, depending on it. So it's the local lord's name is Adam Noshimori. They reside in the capital. They basically live there full time, and the Shibaka runs itself, essentially, sort of deal. They are consulted from afar while this person attends parties and attempts to advance their own house and career in the capital.
Right.
I mean, generally,
I
I was
feel
gonna
like
say-
if you want to learn more about this person, we could put a roll to it.
Yes. Can I make a roll to determine how in Yakuza's pocket this guy may or may not
Yes,
be,
absolutely.
or how cooperative I think he might be to us, if at all?
I feel like those could be two different roles, but I think overall, culture of the world that you're currently on,
Okay.
because you're basically asking for insight in this person, I'd ask for wisdom with it.
Okay.
So culture Valentina.
I have a 1 in wisdom and a 1 in culture, so this will be +2.
Okay.
And I guess the primary thing is he in the pocket of the Yakuza? And if I do well, I'll want to know more about how helpful he would or wouldn't be. Does that make sense?
Yep.
5. I'll go ahead and use my hourly reroll to reroll that.
Incredible. With dark powers. That's a lot more
Much
than
better.
5.
So 10 total.
Okay, 10 total. So, Adam Noshimori is not in the pocket of the Yakuza in any way, shape, or form. They're also not in anybody's pocket. Adam Noshimori is kind of like a failed hanger-on. It's more like if someone was on like Jersey Shore or Entourage and then hit their mid-30s and was like, oh man, I'm too old to keep this life up anymore, and yet it's the only thing I've got. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Not in the pocket of the Yakuza, so probably wouldn't have a problem with you hunting Yakuza in their territory. On the other hand, I'm going to give you a little throw out. You would know personally that problems between Yakuza groups should typically be resolved by going to the boss of bosses on the world. So it really is going to depend on whether you personally feel that you represent the Shinsen Gumi, or whether you consider yourself far enough apart from it that you can operate and do this. Like, you can go and investigate this without going to get permission from a Yakuza. And I mean, it becomes even more layered and nuanced than that, right? The fact that a noble and a samurai would seek permission from a Yakuza would be immensely dishonoring other samurai and yourself. Putting yourself beneath a low caste criminal. It is setting the stage for how others in and out of the criminal world will view you based on whether or not you seek permission for this.
Permission from the criminal element.
Yes, permission from the boss of this world before you go after.
And the boss of this world is like who my organization answers to beyond itself, right? Yeah.
And then, you know, the boss of this world answers to the boss of the whole prefecture, who then answers to the boss of the capital world, Luthien, who is Old Cat Yamaguchi, who runs the entire Yakuza, and ostensibly answers to Theodore Kurita.
Unofficially.
No,
Okay.
it's pretty damn official. Yakuza recently were the Ronin Wars, Yakuza were granted the right to become mech warriors in a straight up official handshake deal with Old Cat Yamaguchi. And I think probably more than anyone else, Arnsson would know that.
Do I have a good read on what the consequences would be if I don't go to the boss? Like, am I putting my family in danger
I think it's the opposite.
carrying this out as like a rogue?
If you do this, if you do this without going to him, you are putting yourself at risk, for sure. But you're basically announcing to the world that you don't consider yourself a guest member of the Shinsen Gumi. That you consider yourself a samurai and a lord before you consider yourself a Yakuza. And I mean, that says something to your family, it says something to your gang, and it says something to everybody else on the world and the other nobles.
Well, it's what my family and gang want, right?
Yeah, but maybe it's not what you want. Maybe it's the opposite of what you've been trying to accomplish. Now, that was just a bonus throwaway because you did so well.
Sure.
Do you have another question you want to know about Adam Noshimori and or the city of Shibaka based on that cultural rule? Is there something more you want? Because 10 is pretty damn good.
Mostly, if he has names, right? Like who are the heads of the Yakuza we're after, right? Like if I could message him and be like, listen, this is a situation, we're going to be in your backyard and this is what we're doing. If you give me the names of who we're looking for, it would greatly reduce the amount of potential collateral damage that could occur.
So he doesn't know specifically who killed.
No, and I don't think that. I just want the...
He does send you back a photograph of a man wearing a kimono with a single sword, which indicates that he is not a samurai. But the fact that he's wearing a sword in public does mean he's someone who thinks he can get away with it. So probably a mech warrior or something else of that design. And rather than have the place where you would normally have a patch for representing your house and then like a full body back thing to represent your house, he has more like a uniform badge of 3 triangles arranged in a triangle facing point downward. And it includes his name, John Nanashi, and a profile that indicates that he is a mercenary mech warrior who works for the Inuyama Gumi, who, like, if you try to start something, you're almost certainly going to end up running into this guy, so keep an eye out for him. He is a certified killer. But you get that message, like, from a dude who is definitely, like, drunk at 1 p.m., you know, day drinking already. Yeah. You're like, oh, it's just me in the capital.
Yeah.
So glad to hear it. House Genji. Well, fantastic to call me. And there's this guy that's been causing problems in my town, in my neighborhood. Well, good luck dealing with the criminal element. I've got an important meeting in 5 minutes. You know, lots of important meetings up here. Ta-ta for now.
We hear like the opening and closing of a bathroom stall.
Flush away.
Followed by the sound of a beer can popping.
Justice.
Yeah. All right.
It's
Well,
a
I
little
share
American
this.
humor for you there.
I share this with my companions, and this is a delicate situation. We don't have any issues with Lord Adam.
Lord Noshimori.
Noshimori. He's provided us with this small but helpful intel. They do have a mercenary mech warrior potentially working for them that could be problems for us. I'm of the mind that we go in quietly and collect Mr. Powers so as not to alert the rest of the organization. But I'm open to your alternative ideas if you think a show of force would be more effective.
I think it's always easier to start quiet and then become loud rather than go the other way around if it happens. So while I think that we should probably pack for all contingencies, I'd rather this was discreet.
Is there a way to get our mechs in the vicinity quietly?
No.
Or not so much?
Absolutely not. Under no circumstances can you move a battle mech quietly.
I was going to ask if you guys want to go in with a diversion, because I can go in wearing the full military noble garb, both my swords, like let them know that I'm there. Under the guise, maybe I'm looking for the next property I want to start building a hotel on, and then you guys can show up incognito.
Shibaka for lovers.
I think that would certainly distract the officials for the city, but I have to believe that the criminal element responsible knows exactly what they did and probably has a pretty good idea of why you might be in town. Right. I don't know if they'd be so easily.
Do you think that would cause them to have more eyes on me, and then you guys would be able to move more unseen?
Potentially. It could also make them run to ground faster, or it could embolden them. So I don't know. We have an embarrassment of riches as far as choice goes, but I do think the priority is to not allow Chadwick to slip through our fingers initially. Once we have hands on him, he can either be coerced and made to talk, or he can take responsibility. But in my opinion, those are his only two options, is to lay down before the sword or point to who should be.
Actually, I got a question, AP. With this this mercenary mech warrior, is he would they have like hired him through like the MRB or through like any kind of like through Comstar
Yes,
through like official means?
he has an official contract.
Okay.
That's the only reason he's allowed to walk around with a sword.
Gotcha. I wonder if we could dispose of him by just offering him more money.
More money.
I mean, that's the opposite of how an MRB contract works. That would be a violation of his original contract. I mean,
That
look,
doesn't necessarily mean it wouldn't work.
I mean, you offer him enough money. Violating the contract might dump his rating for a bit, but with enough money, you can solve this problem.
I was just gonna say, like, I'm wondering if there's some kind of like mercenary legalese that Siegfried would be familiar with that he could try to work something out to try to get him out of the contract.
I mean,
without taking a hit.
I feel like this is going to be a really tough role, but I don't think it's impossible. I just want to say that this is the kind of shit that you would see on a show like Suits or any law drama where, just to be really clear, making a good argument in court is like 1% of what being a lawyer is. I don't know, James. Your dad is a famous lawyer. You tell me, like, it feels like, yeah, having a great argument in court sounds good, but there has to be so much paperwork that gets done.
Yeah, it's like it's all the way stuff before you even go to court.
Yeah, so I will
just tell this guy that in a few years' time the MRB will be gone and the MRBC will be in place, and he can then focus on that.
There was like 2 whole years where the MRB and the MRBC don't exist, so I will take a security role, or
could I convince you to make it a business role?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take business intelligence.
Okay.
You can convince me to make it a business role.
You're due for a good
right
administrative jujitsu role here.
I know. You're just causing him to get double ones, right?
So I have a 0 intelligence and I have a 1 to business, so this should be a +0.
Yes.
So it's just a flat 2d6 roll.
Yeah, you're looking for an 8+. One
is a 5.
almost rolled over. It almost became a 4. Yep. You were so close. Nope. I mean, look, a contract is a contract is a contract. There could be ways to get around it, but your quick scan of it, this is pretty ironclad. Like, he is obligated to execute services for his client to the best of his ability, and the punitive measures if he abandons the contract are pretty damn bad.
I have a question, AP.
Yep.
If we did want to travel incognito, or like go via commercial flights as traveling as regular people, how easy would it be to transport our weapons with us? I don't know how locked down the world is insofar as like what you put in your baggage, etc.
I mean, look, for a normal person, it wouldn't be possible. But if you guys want to intimate to airport security that you're nobles and you're traveling with your weapons, it's going to happen. The question I have for you is, what weapons are you traveling with, right? Like, walking through the city, you're not going to be able to hide a rifle or anything above, like, under our body armor.
You know, I mean, I was thinking of a pistol and my swords, but not actually taking the swords out unless we need them. Like, not like leaving them
like
in
a
hotel
duffel
room.
bag or something. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
A box of flowers.
Guitar. The case to hide your Tommy gun.
Exactly.
I'm curious about this question to everybody, like what weapons you're bringing, what armor you're wearing. Because, you know, it's definitely becoming more and more relevant as you appear to be circling around on imminent violence as a solution.
I'm not looking for violence. I'm looking for violence. I'm worried that that decision may be taken from us, in which case I'm taking like an undercover ballistic vest and like just an auto pistol.
Yeah, stuff like that. I swear I went through the process of gearing out, but I don't know where I would have.
You did go through the process of gearing out because we talked about it, and you wanted to make a special undersuit body armor that was better than normal.
Yeah, that's right.
You failed.
Failed.
And you get to try it again in a new. Oh, I guess this is technically a new year. If you'd like to,
I can try it again. I don't remember any of the details, and again, it's not on my.
it was a
character sheet.
combination of the underbody body armor and the armor that's more armored above it. So like a
Right.
one better
Yeah.
armor class.
Woven body armor and armored undersuit.
Yes.
But where did I note all of that stuff? That's the real question.
Well, I can't tell you.
Yeah, I don't know. Sure.
Didn't
I
you
don't,
guys
what's the-
keep character sheets in a file somewhere, like that's pinned? Am I-
It's on, it's pinned, but I don't know that the equipment's on there though.
Okay.
It's
Well, I
yeah.
can't help
No, I
you with
feel like
that.
I wrote it down somewhere else. I don't know.
Did you
Yeah,
put it on
my equipment's stored on my OneDrive.
Stupid ADHD brain.
I'm feeling that right now.
It's probably
So
somewhere on OneDrive.
pistols, auto pistols,
Yeah.
presumably
Pistols,
Draconis
hidden
Combine, make
stuff.
local stuff.
Right.
I'll make this
9mm.
roll again. You can tell me
Science
what it needs
int?
to be. Okay. Well, I
No.
rolled a 6. No, I probably don't have plus much.
Yeah. I mean, you would need +2.
I think I have a Nambu auto pistol.
Nambu auto pistol.
Which looks disturbingly like a Beretta 93R.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That exposed barrel in the front. Let's see here. 12 shots, armor piercing, 110 meter range, jams on a fumble. I'm gonna let that ride. Jams on a nat 1. Oh, it has increased range and ammunition capacity. Ooh, whoa, whoa.
Well, the 93R is the fully automatic Beretta, the one with the fold down handle at the front that they used to make the Robocop Auto 9 gun out of. Movie guns. Not just a hobby, it was a lifestyle.
Yep.
This armor in here coming in. I still got to put my rifle back together 3 years later. I took the sight off, and now I'm like, do I want to put the sight back on? Not really.
I'm gonna use the, I guess, armored undersuit, my pistol. My like family sword is a wakizashi or a knife.
I thought it was an axe.
No, I had it. I had the
Oh,
axe reforged
you had it
into a
reforged.
sword,
Yeah, so it's still
into like a knife.
yeah. You still have
Um,
2 swords essentially.
Yeah. Well, my one sword's like a working sword. The other one's the family sword.
Yeah.
I'll leave the work sword behind, but I'll keep the wakizashi with me.
Okay.
And then just as a contingency, I'll bring however many grenades I can carry with me.
Sure.
However many I can conceal.
Let's say 6.
Okay.
I don't
I don't know. I mean,
any
like, I can get to the airport and say to security, look, I'm a samurai. I need to take my sword and my gun. Saying I need to take these frag grenades feels like a...
I mean,
Well, you're
look,
not the one saying you need to take the frag grenades. I am.
I know that it can be hard to visualize, but this is a society built on authoritarianism, and you so vastly outrank them socially, financially, class-wise, noble-wise. Like, if you say you need to bring grenades, you don't even have to provide a reason to these people. It just happens. That's how this society works.
Battletech has micro grenades too. It's got like the grenades of the size of a lipstick dispenser.
Sure. Battletech is a world where gyrojets are useful and not physically abusive. So, I mean, abuse the laws of physics. Look, friends, if you don't know what a gyrojet is, you're better off. They don't work.
Look up Mythbusters Gyrojet.
Oh, did Mythbusters do a gyrojet thing?
They did, yep.
Interesting. I don't know. Whenever Battletech wrote in the clans were like, yeah, we have gyrojet pistols. That's how you know we're super high tech. And then I was like, yeah, gyrojet must be really cool. And then I looked it up and I was like, gyrojet sucks and we stopped using it like 20 years ago because it's terrible. Okay.
So we've decided we're going in. We're going to try to go in
Clandestinely.
right?
Yes.
I would
Gotcha.
like a collective group stealth check with your wisdom modifier.
I'm annoyed at this constant use of wisdom.
I'm
Rather
sorry.
than like intelligence or that sort of stuff. Seems to be anything that is in any way mental is wisdom. And I try to go on the D&D concept that intelligence is what you know and wisdom is just your things like perception and the like.
So you all fail. It's a whole field of failures. You arrive at Chewbacca, and in the terminal when you're getting off, there is a man holding up a sign that says Kyeda, Genji, Arnsson. And he begins waving to you when you're approaching.
I look at the other two to see if one of them organise this.
Wasn't me.
We exchange meaningful glances, and I guess then I'll walk towards this man.
Okay.
He is a particularly handsome man in like his mid-20s. He looks like Ian Anthony Dale from 2010. So just like a handsome Japanese man. He is wearing a business suit, all black, with like a black tie that has like a blue fish on it, like a koi. And he holds out a hand rather than hand you a business card, and he says, Hebizono Ryu, I'm here to help represent the Oyabin's business. I work with the Ganzu Kai.
What does that mean to me? Out of character.
Yeah, so the Ganzu Kai is like the chief Yakuza of the whole planet. And this guy's here to, keep an eye on what's happening, essentially.
So I could immediately assume he's abreast, right? Like he knows what's up.
I mean, you're blown coming in. And he
was here waiting for us.
Yes, he was here waiting for you. Yeah.
He knows why we're in town.
Yeah. I have a vehicle nearby. If you don't want to travel with me, the vehicle is paid for by my organization, but the driver knows nothing about it. He'll answer to you. I'm here to help make sure that Yakuza interests are not disrupted and that public morals are also not disrupted in the process. It would be unseemly for 3 samurai to be murdered in the streets, you understand. What you do behind closed doors is your own business. There's a path in Shibaka, and I can guide you down it.
I'm going to turn around to my 2 companions and say, it would be better if you didn't implicate yourself in this side of the operation.
So what do you suggest?
I suggest I'll go with him, and you guys proceed in another direction, and we'll be in touch, and I'll link up with you as soon as I can.
All right. We're going to find a hotel.
And I turn around, and I walk towards this car.
Okay, so this gentleman looks at the 2 of you, and he says, might I suggest not the Ryu Inn if you're looking for a hotel?
Okay.
Understood. Thank you.
As he turns to walk with you, he says, Chewbacca is for lovers, you know. I was hoping to meet with a cousin from another family.
Is he what?
He is openly flirting with you on your way to his vehicle.
What does the term cousin mean in this particular context?
I mean,
like fellow criminal?
Fellow criminal, yeah.
Okay.
Brother from another mother.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we're getting real West Virginia here.
Yeah. I just wanted to be sure.
He's not your actual cousin, to be clear. You have no blood
yeah.
connection with this man. I mean, any more than any human has a blood connection to another human.
I'll look him up and down and say, they do say it's a town for lovers, but unfortunately, that's not the business that brings me here today. Could be business for another time, though.
So he gets into a town car and gestures you to join him in the back. And the driver just starts driving once you're both in. And he says, "Is there somewhere in particular you'd like our driver to take you?"
I would like you to take me to whoever it is I need to speak to expedite my business in town.
I'm not certain I know who it is you're looking for. It's not clear to me who is in charge of the Inuyama. They aren't exactly answering our calls. We have a few contacts. My understanding is that you've run afoul of a particular man, Mr. Powers.
Mr. Powers is our only current lead in resolving the situation that occurred, which I'm sure you're aware of.
His office is known to me.
So if you think that he would be the best person to go speak to first, then we can go there. But if that's the case, then I'd like to send word to my companions to meet us nearby that location so we could proceed. But
he gestures to the car phone.
Powers isn't the boss. And how
Powers
can you
isn't
not
the boss?
If you're the boss of boss's representative, am I understanding that correctly?
Sure.
And how can you not know who the boss is of this town?
It's a turbulent time. Previous boss was recently killed, and we're waiting to see who comes out at the top of the dog pile.
Would it be fair to say that
a great way to unite a group is to incite an outside enemy to attack it.
So you think what happened to my cousin is a power play from internal?
The official stance of the Ganzu Kai is that we don't know anything about what happened.
I am past official stances at this point.
I said what I said, then. Best way to unite against an outside foe. It's certainly in keeping with the business.
What is it you need from me?
I am here to make sure that your friends don't step on toes of the family.
I and my friends are here to exact justice and revenge for the killing of my cousin.
We would never stop samurai in the official capacity of their duties.
Then I should be able to step out of this vehicle right now and no longer be concerned about you or the boss of boss's interference in my business here.
If you want me to, I will stop this car and I will get out. And as I've mentioned, the driver will answer to you for the rest of the day. And you'll never see me again.
I just wanted to be clear that I didn't enter this vehicle to seek permission.
I'm not here to give it. You don't need it.
I'm also not trying to subvert your superior's authority. I'm simply here doing what our people do in these circumstances.
Our people? Samurai?
Both, either, neither. Family, samurai, yakuza.
That's
Would it matter?
Complicated. I think it does matter quite a bit.
My life is complicated. I won't
Killing a
speak for yours.
samurai is a problem. Killing another yakuza is a lot less of a problem.
Am I here to kill a samurai? You've said you didn't know who I was looking for.
I'm not saying you're looking to kill a samurai. I'm saying if the local gangs kill you and can play it off as if they have killed a yakuza, reprisals against them may not even fall. I
Well, then to
can't
answer
speak
that
for the
question-
world, but I believe associating yourself with people like myself might bring shame and dishonor to the great house of Genji.
I live a life where I have to walk down two roads and be two people and wear two sets of armor. And in this matter, I will wear either or whatever combination of both I must do in order to see it done.
I have sympathy for your situation. I'm here to tend to the business interests of the world's yakuza.
I have no interest in getting in the way of that.
Great.
So it doesn't matter to you which hat I wear for this.
I am only concerned for you.
What makes you concerned?
He gives
Generalities,
you...
or do you know something I should know?
No, he gives you a look. Listen, I want to be really clear here. This guy's trying to flirt with you.
Yeah,
From
I
time to
understand.
time. Okay.
And I want to give him just enough back to get a little bit of unofficial
All right.
information here.
I mean,
What are
I
you
feel
so
like
concerned about?
What am I concerned about? The Yakuza interests represented by the Inuyama provide a considerable sum of tax to the Ganzukai. Disruption, like the current situation, means that the money isn't coming in. If you kill everyone in the Inuyama Kai, it will take some time to rebuild the network. It would be a problem for the Oyabeno-san. Now,
Let me
just to be
Go
clear,
ahead.
when he says that, it's like a really disrespectful way of referring to the guy
boss.
at the top. Yeah.
All right, let me ask a different set of questions then. Are there people in this clan that the boss would like to see rise to the top?
That's a very dangerous question.
Well, I'm not looking to rock the boat, but I also will not stand to not hold someone accountable. So I want to know who's responsible. And if who is responsible can benefit the boss in some kind of way, then I feel like that's a feather in each of our hats.
There
Right,
are
to
a
be
lot
clear,
very reactionary members of the Inuyama Kai, but the boss has a close relationship with a quiet, high-level accountant by the name of Skolpada Oda. Swedenese, from Rasselhag district, that sort of thing. In his 50s, gray hair, quiet, unassuming. He makes sure that deals get done and the money gets to where it's supposed to be. Such a person coming out on top of any local conflicts would guarantee a quiet Inuyama Kai. One that doesn't challenge authority. One that pays the dues on time.
so out of character, to be clear, Akari has no intention of revealing any of this deal to any of her friends or anyone else, right? Like,
Sure.
she will do the dirty deal behind bars to benefit herself and her family. At this point, with the death of her cousin, she's in like a I'll do whatever it takes kind of mentality. So if she can just end up, rolling heads for this so that she can feel vindicated, she'll make a deal to come out on top with the big boss as well. If that means, it puts a bow on the whole situation and there's no reprisals. She's not trying to start a war between her clan and this other clan. She's trying to settle this matter and get revenge and be done with it and not have it turn into like a reciprocal situation. This would do that, is what it sounds like, as if she leaves this guy alive and in charge.
I mean, to be clear, this guy has no power currently, right? Like, he has no toughs standing up for him. I mean, if you kill everybody else, he'll be the last one standing.
Sure.
But, that is certainly one extremely bloody way of doing it.
Well, only if I kill everybody else at the top.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah, but
okay.
I mean, the other ways might include convincing people to follow this guy, like a not less violent or a non-violent way. So Ryu leans forward in the seat and says, I can take you to Mr. Powers right now. He's working at the Ryu Inn as a bartender. It would be very public and unseemly for any conflict to take place in open spaces if you were just looking for a chat.
What does he say?
There is a attached dormitory where many members of the Inuyama Gumi sleep outside the hotel.
Are there less public opportunities to interact with him?
I could invite Mr. Powers to a meeting. That would be indelicate on my part. I'd be risking my position.
Then I would owe you, wouldn't I? She says with a winky face emoji.
He's been flirty the whole time, but when he looks back at you now, it's very serious when he says, yes, you would.
That's I capitalize on this interest that he's shown.
I mean, this is the opposite though. This is no longer flirting. This is like, you owe me business, not you owe me a date.
I smile and nod.
He pulls out the car phone. Just a huge brick.
The big brick.
And he says, Mr. Powers.
Has he got a Carfax too?
Oh my God. Yeah, sure. Let's say so. It's huge. Instead of one of the seats in the Lincoln Town car, it's just a huge fax machine.
Yeah.
He says, this is Mr. Hebizono. I'd like to speak to you. I have a conference room set aside at the docks. Yes, 20 minutes will do nicely. I will meet you there. Hangs up the car phone and says to the driver, says, take us to the place we started at this morning, if you would, please, as quickly as possible. Would you like to contact your friends?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll contact my friends.
I want to set the scene when the phone call comes us that Siegfried and Hiro are standing at like the counter of a very sort of touristy hotel at reception, like the one of the place that has like, kids running past in their swimming trunks in the background because they're going to the outdoor pool, and we're both staring blankly at the person who's just asked us whether we want one room or two when the phone rings.
I'm sorry, sir. One room or two?
Akari.
20 minutes, and I give him the address.
See, we won't be staying here after all. Thank you very much for your help, sir. Well, if you have a concierge, call us a cab.
Of course.
I'll still tip him though.
Ah, there you go. That will make the concierge happy. All three of you arrive at a corrugated steel warehouse, which has various obviously fake business names that are very clearly covers for various criminal organizations. And Mr. Ebizono Ryu just walks in and uses a key card to enter a particular room that just, there is no nameplate outside. There are several chairs around a desk and like a nice water cooler and some magazines scattered, and that's about it. It is not very big. Very nice to see you all again. Please sit down. Mr. Chadwick Powers will be arriving very shortly, I believe.
Stan.
If you don't mind, I'd prefer to remain standing.
I literally can't stop you.
All right.
Would
Well,
you
the
like
business
some
to be carried
room
out.
temperature water?
Water would be fine, and if it's possible, we would like to have the room. It would be better, I think.
So he gets you water from the triangular cones. You know what I'm talking about? Paper cones
Mhm.
for each of you. And then he says, I'll be outside. Or if I hear gunshots, I'll know to come in. Mr. Powers is an expert at unarmed close combat. You may want to consider acting first.
What was this guy's name again?
Hebizona Ryu. His first name is
Zono.
his family name is Hebizono. And his given name is
Okay.
Ryu.
Thank you, Ryu.
He quietly closes the door behind him with a bow and leaves the facility.
So, what are we doing?
I think it would be best if we incapacitate him immediately and tie him up.
Okay.
I agree.
And if we can do the old Han Solo Darth Vader situation where he walks in and somebody like jumps out from behind the door and immediately tases him in the ribs or something.
That's not how I remember that scene. Did we
I don't
watch
know
a
what movie you
different
saw.
Empire
That
Strikes
time
Back?
Darth Vader used non-lethal tactics.
That time Darth Vader tased that guy.
I'll
What a
go,
surprise.
I seem to remember a blaster pistol going across the table, not everything you just said.
I'll creep myself behind, like, in position to floor him when he comes through the door.
I just want to make sure he
is-
doesn't run.
Is unarmed fighting combat primitive, or is that combat? Is there like an
Yeah, it's
unarmed combat?
Combat unarmed. It's combat unarmed.
Combat primitives like knives.
Gotcha.
All
So
right, now should we like so this is a conference room. I feel like one of us should be like across the hall in the opposite room.
So you
So that
need
when
a
he-
key card to get into this room. You need key cards
Okay.
to get into any of them.
I just want to make sure he walks all the way in the room before he's wise to the situation, right? So if I got to do, I'll use another bad analogy here. The Darth Vader thing. No, not the Darth Vader thing. The
You do the Luke
what's-
Skywalker thing. You shoot the badge reader in the room across the hall, and it opens the door.
I was gonna say I'll be in like the spinny high back chair and I'll be facing the other way around. And when he's fully inside, I'll turn around.
You sure that's not the Dr. Evil thing?
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Doesn't the Emperor do that at some point? Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, and then you guys in the corners or something. I don't know, but we just want to make sure he's not gonna bolt.
Mr. Powers.
We arrange
you have
ourselves.
arrived.
We arrange ourselves in such a way that we can get the jump on him when he walks in the door.
I'm quite afraid your organization will find this warehouse is fully
Quite
operational.
Yeah. We need some old Butch McGurk gas.
So the last scene of tonight's episode will be the door opening a man who you recognize as Chadwick Powers, who looks a lot like Chef Andre Rush, has a incredibly small bow tie on and like a charcoal gray vest over a white dress shirt, slacks and like dress shoes. Comes through the door, enters, sees that there's like two other people here, looks a little confused, begins recognizing the two people, and I assume Akira turns around slowly in her rotating chair, and it's just like jazz starts playing, like ba-da, 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 ba-da. So he's like, no! As he turns to start running out the room.
Yeah, I think we need like the cowboy beat up like three frame cut, you know, as you grab him.
That would fit with the jazz. There it is. That's an episode for you. How about that?
There we go.
Got him.
So we've before tonight's episode, we weren't sure if we were going to have an episode. So instead, we met up and talked about guest stars, and we've already locked in 2 guest stars for the folks at home, with a third on the hook that I'm just waiting to hear back to see where that line comes in. So, folks at home, for the upcoming Away From Home arc, you could be seeing a slate of familiar faces to the what did you call it, Rad? The APGamingREAL cinematic Battletech universe?
The cinematic universe.
The APG.
That's James's thing, but I'll take credit for it. Sure.
I'm not going to say one of the guests could be Taylor Swift, but I'm also not saying that either.
That it isn't Taylor. That's right.
It definitely isn't Taylor Swift. All right, I can confirm it's definitely not.
Wink.
I'm a fan of Taylor Swift, and if Taylor Swift was going to be on my show, you'd know about it. I'd be like, holy shit, guys, I met Taylor Swift. Holy shit, she dated Loki.
I'm going to a Taylor Swift concert next month for work.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Did you say
nice.
for work?
Yeah, we got a corporate box for we're taking customers to see Taylor Swift.
Okay, I was
That's pretty cool.
Just
put this on the old work credit card.
Yeah, there you go. And that's the best corporate crime that was committed tonight.
But not the only one.
Yeah, certainly not. Certainly not. Well, any post-episode thoughts for the folks at home after this entanglement?
I don't know. I was like, yeah, I'll try and keep it samurai for this. One failed stealth roll later, and I'm
I think it's
absolutely
fucking
fucking
three in a
neck
row.
deep.
It was ridiculous. 3 people failed. Don't put it all on yourself. Everybody failed.
Yeah. But I realized I rolled your dice and you rolled my dice, so.
Also, just to be clear, you didn't fail by like a little bit. It was really significant. Yeah, it was quite a high failure.
I don't know. As a peek behind the curtain, I'll tell you, I haven't really found which side of the fence. Well, no, just which side of the fence I want my character to fall.
Oh, I see.
So it may seem like, it may seem, I don't know. I'm sure it doesn't seem clever, but I can't really I'm wishy-washy back and forth on what she's trying to do.
I'm going to be honest with you. If you don't make a decision soon, someone else will make that decision for you.
Yeah. And I feel like this feels like a little bit of the beginning of that, right? Like starting to get.
No, this is basically towards the end of that. You are
the
strongly aligning yourself with the Yakuza.
The decisions are snowballing into a direction. And I kind of like that. I like that the story has just pushed her in a direction.
You're Mass Effect 1 Shepard with 5 Paragon and 8 Renegade. And now you're like, God, but if I keep going Renegade, I can easily pass all these checks.
The good news is that because this is a generational game, if your character fails to separate from the Yakuza, you can have a child and try and put the same thing on their shoulders.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, of course.
The child that'll just be disgusted with their mother. Yeah.
Wow, classic Genji family problem. Being upset with your mother.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm fine with whichever. I think both are interesting. I think one certainly comes with a lot more internal party conflict than the other, but that's okay. That can be fun too.
Well, we're going to be brushing up on our personal combat rules next time.
I know. I'm so annoyed that I
fact
can't
that all
find
of you
all that
have
work that I did.
Swords and pistols and under body armor is going to give you a pretty serious advantage over an unarmed guy wearing a bow tie.
This guy in his bartender outfit.
But he is really good at personal combat, so...
How much personal combat is he going to do when you point a gun at his face?
Right.
I mean, maybe like one round of making you eat that gun. I mean, it's Andre Rush. You know, the guy's like 6'7".
Yeah, but I'm a whole conference table away.
Yeah. He only has to get one of you to have a hostage.
Bold of you to assume I wouldn't shoot through my friends to kill this man.
I've played enough Call of Duty. I think I've unlocked the martyrdom perk.
Wow. Okay. This is what I deal with, audience at home. I'll shoot through my friends to kill my enemies. Saint D&D, there's snow. You can't just rub diamonds on somebody and they come back to life 1 minute later. This is the Battletech universe that's very serious and it has no magic or psychic powers or aliens whatsoever.
We really should have brought like some chloroform or something. Like I want to say we did.
Oh my god!
Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we have brought that kind of stuff? Our intention was
him alive.
absolutely to abduct this guy, right? Like we certainly would have brought something with us to accomplish this task.
So your go-to is chloroform to take somebody with you.
Stun baton, chloroform.
Yeah, stun baton, sure, very easily available.
Hit him in the neck with a syringe, just
a syringe filled with chloroform.
Chloroform? Yeah. It's so easy.
Yeah,
I'm sure we just have kegs of it.
Gun.
Yeah. Just dart him and tag him.
Just dart him like they should have done Harambe.
Yeah, the horse drink. No, I don't know. Now I owe Yakuza guy favors, and I'm trying not to drag my friends through all this, but whatever. This what has to happen.
I mean, you say you're trying not to do it, and then you immediately invite them to a compromise meeting. So,
well, I know they want the same thing as me.
Mild vocal objection to bringing them along. That's about it.
All of this part can happen behind closed doors, and then the resolution can happen on an official platform, right? Like out in the open.
Apparently, they've never studied injecting chloroform into the human body, but when it's injected into other mammals, it causes pulmonary edema and hemorrhage.
Wow. So,
yeah.
Just in case people don't speak medical, that means dying.
Yeah.
I'll say if Akari didn't take the or was on the fence about the deal, Siegfried would have taken it in like a heartbeat. He would have owed a favor for a shot at Chadwick.
That crossed my mind as well, and I think Akari probably would have also played that in her head. She's going, well, yeah, I think this is what we all want.
We don't really know that Chadwick's behind it. It's just that he knows more about it, right?
We just know that he's the guy we need to talk to. Yeah, he's our only lead.
It's the classic example of, someone's got to go down for this. It's got to be someone that's actually inside of this. That'll either be you, or can you give us somebody else? Yeah,
if you want to hold the criminal code of honor and not be a snitch, then that's fine. Well, you can die in their place, right? Like,
right.
I don't know.
And you're asking to question the loyalty of the dog people.
If that's the case, though, if he's just like, fine, kill me, I'm fine with killing him and then continuing to hunt more of them until, I'll leave a trail of bodies.
The ghost of Tsushima speaks.
I have no problem with it. I'll kill 5 or 6 of them. We'll go on our off-world arc, and I'll let them know I'll be back. Don't worry.
At home, everyone's like, Akari Genji, let her cook. Let her cook.
Yeah. I'll be like, hey, I'm going to be gone for like 3 months. And when I'm back, you'll either deliver to me the people responsible, or I'll be right back.
I mean, if you don't get it in the 3 days, your Yakuza family are going to be held responsible. Right.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, I'll have Chadwick at the very minimum, right? At least
You can make it
depending
stick.
on how it goes.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
one thing to come back and say the guy's guilty. It's another thing to get him to admit to it or provide literally any evidence.
Get him to talk. Sure, he's
Which one
got
of
at
us?
least a couple.
Which one of us is good at interrogation?
Boy, that's
a
something
good
you
question.
definitely want to figure out before you make that roll.
You think our secret policeman would be good at stuff like that?
The ISF trainee? Sure.
Well, I mean, it depends. Is there actually an interrogate skill, or is it on persuade?
I
Like,
would
I'm
take
training
persuasion with strength, perhaps?
Yeah. Okay, then I'm good at intimidation.
Oh, yeah,
There we go.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a 1 to strength and I have a 2 persuade. So
Also pretty good.
I might also
Yeah.
take security for that role, if that would be better for anyone.
I need to ask: does this dude have all of his fingers?
Yeah, with powers?
Yeah,
Yes.
For now,
for now.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah, means he hasn't fucked up in a major way yet.
yeah.
Gotcha.
I did bring a preparatory, or a just in case Tanto for some light torture.
I mean,
Light
there may or
torture.
may not have been a reason I brought the family wakizashi.
Wow. Audience, it's crazy how quickly players will resort to torture. Despite literally
It's
every
crazy.
study on the planet saying that torture accomplishes nothing.
It is crazy.
Yeah, just to
Oh,
be
you
really
know-
clear, getting information from someone and torturing them are two different things. That's actually one of my favorite parts about Burning Wheel, is that the torture skill and the interrogation skill are two different things. The torture skill is to get people to say what you want, and the interrogation skill is to get them to say what you need.
I like that.
Good, because
You
that's
know,
pretty
one-
much how it works in real life. Getting people to tell you what you want usually doesn't involve pliers and shotguns.
Look,
Yeah,
it depends. If you're a major religion and you want to own a lot more land, then getting people to confess to witchcraft, pretty good way of doing that.
Mhm.
Wow, Chips, that's really pointed.
You know, another interesting option we have is we're about to leave world and travel outside of the Draconis Combine. We could offer this guy, be like, hey, you give us who we want, we'll sneak you away with us and we'll drop you off somewhere else and you can start a new life, disappear.
You got to
This
Jack
doesn't have-
Bauer him. You got to be like,
Yeah,
give me the
this-
name!
This doesn't have to be the end of your story.
Damn it! Give me a name! This doesn't have to be the end of your story.
You could go on to be played by another player as a guest in another show.
Oh my god.
You could be on Gentlemen of the List.
Yeah, you can be played by Taylor Swift.
You
That's
could be played by Taylor Swift.
Little
Keeping
does
the
AP
dream
know
alive.
that Taylor Swift is a huge fan of his shows.
There's no way Taylor Swift is a huge fan of my shows. And even if she was, nowhere near as much of a fan as I am of Teardrops on My Guitar. Picture to Burn, by the way. Best song out of everything she's ever done. Absolutely unhinged.
What's a rumored cameo coming up in Marvel? There was.
Taylor
it's
Swift
in
has a
in
rumored
as
cameo.
Dazzler. It Dazzler in
As
Deadpool 3.
In Deadpool, yeah.
Yeah, it's Dazzler. Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
We'll
It is
see.
a rumor.
We'll see.
Because they've confirmed the girl that played X-23 in Logan is coming back.
Ah.
And Jennifer Garner as the Ben Affleck
As
Daredevil.
Elektra.
Yeah, the Elektra from that one. Yeah,
Wow,
it's gonna
that's
be
a
in Deadpool
real
3.
nice callback.
Yeah.
And most recently, I've also heard McAvoy as Professor X, potentially.
Interesting.
Apparently, Charlie Cox is going to be Daredevil in the next Spider-Man.
Well, he appeared in the most
in the
recent
last one.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cameo. He's a very good
And then,
player.
Let's be really clear. He was in the best parts of She-Hulk.
Oh yes, 100%.
Yeah. Their chemistry was on fire compared to some of the other
Yeah.
shit she was doing.
So good.
Isn't
They also
that-
confirmed that Karen and Foggy are going to come back as well for the new Daredevil series on Netflix. Or not Netflix, on Disney.
My favorite
Same
Daredevil
actors?
comic moment is Daredevil and Deadpool. When Deadpool's like, I need to speak to you for a minute, counselor. And Daredevil's like, I told you I'm not what's his human non-superhero
Matt
name?
Murdock.
I'm not Matt
Murdock.
Murdock. And he goes, I never said you were.
But yeah, it is supposed to be the same actors, so
Interesting.
I don't know.
gonna
Disney's
say,
scrambling, trying to right the ship.
Yeah, isn't Taylor Swift and like Ryan Reynolds, aren't they like friends in real life?
Listen,
So.
it's so hard to keep track of who's
Yeah,
friends
I
with
was-
Taylor Swift.
I was gonna. I think there was like a story where like Ryan Reynolds let her borrow the Deadpool suit for like a Halloween party or something.
I don't know. For sure, she dated Tom Hiddleston for like 6 years. So
He's now married to the girl who played the villain in the Marvels.
Oh, really?
I didn't see
Yeah.
the Marvels.
No one else did, Arthur. It's okay.
That's okay.
Just James.
And my wife.
I don't like Marvels because I got devastated by the way the girl treated her dad in the first episode of Marvels. After that,
No,
I was like,
Miss
you've
Marvel.
broken it for me. You've broken it for me. You treated your dad like shit. He was so sad, and I was like, I can't watch this show. This man, he really put himself out there for you, and you treat him like
He did.
garbage.
That was a great show, though. I loved the Marvels.
I guess.
You mean Miss
Or
Marvel?
Miss Marvel. Yeah, Miss Marvel. I hadn't seen the Marvels. I'll see it at some
Yeah.
point, but I just haven't seen it yet.
Definitely, a lot of critics say she's the best part of the Marvels film too. Like,
I believe
that
it. She's a
actress,
phenomenal little actress. Yeah.
She killed her father. She destroyed his hopes and dreams.
It's just so much of like like having Pakistani friends as well. Like just seeing the family relationship in that show is so real too.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact the friend comes around and the mother's like, "Oh, you look so hungry. You should eat." He's like, "I've got to go actually." So she walks to the kitchen and comes out with like 4 boxes in like four plastic containers full of food.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at our schedule. Are we good for next week? I'm just asking, sight unseen.
Yep, it's a holiday here, but I will be having a holiday. Means I'm guaranteed to be free.
Can I ask which holiday?
Australia Day, controversial one.
Wow. Wait, why would that be controversial?
Because it's based upon the day that settlers first arrived in Australia from
Oh,
England.
the convict ships, first generation.
Well, yeah, which of course means that Aboriginal Australians view it as they call it Invasion Day, for example. So it's generally it's become less and less acceptable to celebrate it or to. I mean, it's still a public holiday. No one has to go to work, but to make a big deal about it, isn't it? It's less.
Like Christopher
socially
Columbus
acceptable
Day here.
Yeah, I was gonna say it
Yeah.
sounds like our Chris Columbus Day.
Don't
Yeah.
some states call it a different thing now? I don't really know.
I don't
Holidays
know,
are for people
probably.
who go to school, work at a bank,
Yeah.
Or have children.
or have children. I mean, children go to school, don't they?
hmm
Assumably.
Yeah, I mean some do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm good for the next. That I know about the next 2 weeks.
Well, Blades of Honor audience. We're going to spoil you with multiple episodes in a row. You don't deserve it, but you're going to get it anyway.
Better appreciate that shit.
You almost didn't have an episode tonight, and then you got one anyway. You better thank GrimDarkJames is all I'm
Yeah.
saying, audience.
You better
thank
thank
my
his
boss.
boss.
Thank his
Thank-
boss.
Thank-
Thank GrimDarkJames' boss, audience.
Yeah,
The
you were on
boss of
call, right?
bosses.
He originally cancelled the call because it was a nice day. He decided to go sailing instead.
just in the afternoon at work, you're like, man, what a nice day. Never mind the rest of this. I've got get the boat ready.
I hope he receives just a slew of random emails saying thank you tomorrow.
CEO time.
whenever the show goes up.
Sorry, executive time. That's
Right,
what
yeah.
it's called, right?
Yeah, look. There's I don't know about in the US, but almost no one does any work after about 2 p.m. on a Friday. When it's already hitting the pub, beer o'clock. It's called.
That's about right.
Yeah.
All right, friends at home. We got Gentlemen in the List this weekend, so yeah,
Nice.
you could watch live Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern until past midnight, or you could catch it on Ticking Time Bob Gaming's YouTube channel or on his Twitch, I guess. So
You could also watch King Arthur Pendragon.
I'm trying to keep it BattleTech. I mean,
You could watch-
you could watch Taylor Swift. You know,
You could watch
It's all-
Intro Hour.
It's all part of the same cinematic universe, okay?
We can't call it a cinematic universe. It's not fucking cinema.
Just wait till we get to the multiverse arc.
YouTube
and they'll all go
cinema.
cross-
Multiverse
they'll start
all
crossing
I
over.
already did the multiverse arc and people hated it. It absolutely killed the viewership for a time of Total Warfare. I lost
I
half
think
my
what-
viewers overnight.
AP, what you mean is people didn't understand it.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. They
You were
understood it.
just-
They understood I killed Kenneth Cross off camera and were like, damn, this show sucks now.
You were before your time, that's all.
I wasn't before my time. Don't say that shit. In 200 years, no one's going to find this and be like, he's the Vivaldi of his generation. No, they're going to be like, damn, this fucking early generation YouTuber made some cringe shit.
Marvel must have got it from him.
What the fuck? Marvel came up with the multiverse like 70 years before I was born. Jack Kirby's sitting there going, what if there were multiple universes?
What if,
AP,
what if
are there
Spider-Man
out
could
there
be?
on the internet any wikis of any of your games?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes?
several.
Yeah. Yep, so we just need to make sure, we just need to get those all combined into one.
There is an APGamingREAL wiki. There was a Winner's Edge wiki. There was a Winner's
Okay.
Edge 2 wiki.
But this is sounding more and
Didn't
more like
Sprawl
a
have
verse. Yeah, this is definitely a verse to me.
I mean, a verse involves...
No, like it's a verse, like a universe.
The
you know,
universe. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also adverse sometimes too, as well. But
We're just waiting for AP to start his Avengers show, where he brings back one cast member from every show he's run.
from each show, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just rad.
It's playing all of them, like
every
4 different
character
characters.
you played from all other shows. It's not even me GMing. It's just me. I turn the camera on, I start filming, and then I get up and leave, and let Rad talk to himself for 3 hours, and that's it. Whatever happens during that 3 hours is now canon.
But then I'll finally be exposed that all of my characters are actually just the same character over and over and over again.
I get accused of that all the time. Oh my God. I'm stopping the recording now. Folks at home, have a good time zone.